Hi, it's Ron, the Nutritional Agnostic. It is July 30th, 2026, and I am out on an absolutely gorgeous day in Pennsylvania. One that when it's this gorgeous, because it feels like Southern California right now, you really need to take advantage of it. It's 83 and feels like almost no humidity. It's beautiful, man. So I just wanted to catch up, do a little update. It's been probably like a week or so since I made a video, maybe two. If you have watched me before, you know that I spent about a month, 4 weeks in a row, water fasting for anywhere from 3 to 5 days, minimum of 3. And I think at least a couple of those weeks I did 4 and 5 days to get the whole autophagy thing and the ketosis business and all that. So just wanted to give you an update on how I'm doing. So I am right now, I'm about 15 hours in to my fast, and I'm going to go for 36 hours this week, just due to schedule and stuff. But I've already done I think a couple of days of 18 hours, maybe even a little more than 18 hours. So I am continuing to report to you that fasting is, for me anyway, this is a major secret of success. I've said this before. It's not just what you eat; it's how often you eat. Yeah, I think how often you eat, at least for my body type, which I like to call the insulin body type, it's how often you eat is probably more important than how much you eat. What you eat definitely counts, because if you're eating garbage and sugar and unnecessary crappy carbs, well, you're gonna trigger your insulin, right? But if you don't do that, then it's much more forgiving. And I've been doing that. I mean, I've been taking a couple of small I don't know if chances, but I've been eating a couple of things now and then that I, on the surface would say no. Like I have a non-GMO little tiny ice pop I had one day, and then I have this probiotic little tiny cup of organic ice cream, with probiotics, this kind of thing. I let myself a couple of treats, and also there's a local farmer's market by me. There's a guy who makes 100% honey based little candies, no added sugar, no corn syrup, all that. It's just honey and whatever flavoring he puts in, which I think he does like chocolate. There's a bourbon flavor, and they're very tasty, and they're only honey, so they do not attack your insulin the way corn syrup would. It's still, I mean, I'm sure there's still a little bit of movement in the insulin. I'm not eating that stuff when I'm trying to be keto, but as I said, I've been experimenting, allowing myself to be sort of, quote unquote imperfect, but I don't even know that that's true. And I've been fine. My body weight and especially my waistline has been stable. I have not seen any bad changes in those directions. Of course, like I said, I am continuing to try to navigate through the 18 hours minimum of fasting, which then shrinks the eating window into 6 hours. So I'm just letting you know that it's working. Now, if you haven't seen me before, I'm going to be 64 in just a few months, in I think 4 months. And so that's another thing. I feel like I've been around long enough now where the rubber meets the road. It's easy to be full of crap when you're 30 and tell people about health habits and stuff, but you start getting in your 50s and then your 60s especially, you're not able to pull off the BS story anymore. So I played ice hockey goalie last night, won by the way, and so I did start my day yesterday with 4 eggs and probiotic sauerkraut, and I like to have organic tomato paste with it instead of ketchup. I love tomato paste with my eggs. So I had that, and I was planning on possibly starting my fast then, which I think it was about 6 p.m. maybe. But when I play hockey, you know, obviously you're burning a lot of energy, and I come home and I'm kind of hyper from the adrenaline, and I'm usually a little hungry. So I allowed myself to have a homemade tuna and salmon salad with really good quality mayo. I think it was like that paleo stuff. Can't remember the name of it, but it's like supposed to be really good, non-GMO and all that. And I had some hydroponic lettuce I picked up at a local farmer's marketplace with no chemicals whatsoever in it. Put that on a sandwich. I had it on sourdough, you know, which from my knowledge is one of the best breads to eat if you're going to eat any bread. And so technically my fast, because I did that right before midnight, I think. So I was still up and hyper. My game was at like 9 p.m. By the time you get home, you know, it's like 11:30, and you're kind of rolling. Anyway, so that's when my fast officially started. So tonight at midnight will be the 24-hour mark, and then like I said, I'm going for 36. So I'm targeting noon tomorrow. So just wanted to share with you that what I'm doing for me does seem to be working, and it certainly could work for you. I don't see why not, especially again if you have the insulin body type, which if you're not familiar, it means the person that tends to store fat, if they're going to store fat, in their middle section above the waist, which they, you know, many sources say is the worst place to store it because it's all around your organs and your liver and everything else, and so you get fatty liver and all this business. When you're in that body type especially, eating too often is a danger. According to many sources, and I've mentioned them before, but one of my currently favorite sources I like to listen to is Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G, and he's very prolific on YouTube, and he talks about this. He is a guy who advocates pretty much a carnivore approach with keto, and I'm all for utilizing the keto state to help accelerate the burning of body fat and whatnot. But personally, I've come to a place in my spiritual journey. By the way, I'm just headed up a hill, that's why I'm breathing a little bit. I've come to a place in my spiritual journey where I just don't want to eat meat anymore. And I started questioning that like a couple of decades ago. I started questioning, is it okay to eat meat? And at that time I was also on a spiritual journey where I was starting to look for my creator in a way that I hadn't previous. I'd always been a questioner, I'd always been looking for truth, but I always called myself an agnostic. And by the way, the name of my title, my channel, Nutritional Agnostic, has nothing to do with religion. It just means that I don't accept all the nutritional advice that's out there on its face value. I always take it with a grain of salt and research it. But anyway, so about 20 years ago, actually more than that now, started questioning that, and I started asking, trying to ask the creator to help me to know what I should be doing with that. And I don't know what everybody else experiences, but it's not like I had a lightning bolt come down or a sign light up in the sky, but my conscience talked to me a lot, and it still does, and that's what I go by. I'm a very intuitive type of personality. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm a Scorpio, maybe it doesn't, but I've always been very intuitive, and I think that intuition, I think I'm more in touch with it than I was even half a lifetime ago. So it doesn't feel right to me. So at the moment, what I'm doing is what they call pescatarian, I'm eating eggs and wild caught fish as my only animal products. And actually, I was going to say no kill, but in fact, obviously the fish is a kill food. Probably the only kill food I'm eating, because I eat the eggs, and I do eat occasional raw dairy, raw cheese, and I have a place right near me that's great. They have local raw milk. So those are my main animal products. I should have sprayed myself with a little mosquito stuff. It's usually not a problem, but apparently they're liking the non-humid weather. Anyway, yeah, that's my only animal products at the moment, and I've been doing that now for a while. Pescatarian thing, I want to say I've been doing that, oh God, at least 6 months, if not longer, and I feel great. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Yes, of course I miss the taste of a steak. I used to love prime rib, and of course, you know, who doesn't like the taste of bacon and whatnot, but I've just decided I can't do it anymore. So I'm not preaching, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just telling you where I'm at as a reference for you to utilize if it's of any use to you. So anyway, what am I now? Yeah, I'm 15 hours in. So hopefully I'll continue to be fine with the fast till tomorrow, and I think I should be, because now I have several different runs of multiple day fasting under my belt. So in theory this should really be, you know, relatively easy. The hardest part generally is the nighttime, but the best part is once you get to sleep, then you're sleeping, and you're not struggling with watching the clock and wanting to eat. And so far I'm even not. And that's another thing that I have talked about this, but I'm going to elaborate on it now with a little more experience behind me. Your relationship with food, our relationship with food, because I'm no different than you, no better, no different, just I've chosen a path to challenge myself to be better. And there's a great saying I love: when you know better, you do better. And that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. And that's the only way that I think I'm going to affect anybody's opinion, attitude, and motivation, is by being the change that I believe in. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to be, you know, the best version of me in all kinds of ways, but in this case, in regard to health and nutrition. So I walk every day, 30 to 60 minutes religiously, and I'm doing these fasting regimens and also being very conscious of what I'm eating and how much and how often. So oh yeah, and to that end, I recently acquired a used treadmill, a very, very simple one, like an older style. It's got like batteries in the control panel. I don't even think it lifts up, but it works. And so on days when I find the weather, you know, really offensive, which is not that often, but rain will often do that, especially hard rain, I can always do the treadmill. And I'm fortunate enough, I have a little sunroom in my house with windows on 2 walls, and so I have my treadmill and my Stairmaster, which I already had for the last 20 years, set up in that room. And so I have sort of a panoramic view because I live in the country, and sometimes I'm lucky I get deer walking across my vision, especially in the winter when there's snow. And so the treadmill is another strategy, because I've been very, very diligent now since February or March, walking, I mean, pretty much every day without fail. I think I've only missed maybe 2 days or something, and it was because of schedules or some reason. I can't remember what it was, but it was really sort of like I just couldn't make it happen. But short of that, I've been doing it. And so the treadmill will make it way more possible to continue to do it without interruption. So if that means anything, I think that treadmill that I have, I think it came off a MacBid originally. I don't know if you have a MacBid by you, but that appears to be a good way to get used stuff at good prices. And you have access to it in a way you wouldn't, like on eBay, because you know, something big like a treadmill, nobody wants to pay to mail it. But with MacBid, I guess it's built into their system where, you know, they just put it in a warehouse in your area, and you can just pick it up, so you don't have to worry about the shipping costs. I think that's how it works. It's been a while since I picked that thing up. So anyway, that's my report. And if I think of anything else, as always, I will come back on. I don't want to ramble on with no purpose. Thanks for watching and listening as always. And if you like my point of view, please share it around and see if it can help other people. Because like I said, that's my goal, is to lead by example. So hopefully that's working for some people. All right, I'll talk to you again soon. And like I said, I'll be back here if I haven't any more thoughts to share. Thank you. Okay, I do have a thought that I would like to add. I was in Mexico last week to attend a wedding is why I was there. And it was of course in July in Mexico, in Cancun area, and it was unbelievably humid. I mean, like off the scale humid, and of course hot. I mean, it was in the 90s, I'm sure. And I wanted to note that people were complaining. People I was there with, a lot of people were complaining about the weather and the humidity. They couldn't take it. They couldn't stand it. And sure, it's unpleasant from the point of view that you sweat. You walk out of your resort room into the hallway, which is not air conditioned, and you sweat. And so it's hard to dress up, because you're always you start sweating as soon as you walk out. But the thing I wanted to share is that I've noticed that since I have cleansed out with the fasting and dropped 2 bowling balls worth of body weight, it does not bother me like it once did. Like I was walking on the beach, just like I almost did an on location video from there along the beach, but it was so challenging because there was so much seaweed at this time of year, I guess. You couldn't walk along the water where the sand is firm. I had to walk in the actual sand, which of course is like walking in quicksand. So I felt it would be really awkward and difficult to try to form a video and deal with that, so I didn't actually make the video, but I did walk for a good 30 to 45 minutes in the sunlight on the beach, and it really was great. I mean, I loved it, but I know a lot of people were complaining. And as I say, because I normally hate humidity. I have. I mean, in the history of my life, I grew up in the Northeast, and we had a lot of humid summers, and I always hated that. And I remember I've been to Southern California and San Diego area twice, and I love that weather, man. So I just want to encourage you that you may very well experience what I experienced, which is a great increase in your tolerance of temperatures and whatnot, because your body is working more efficiently. That's all I can attribute it to. I don't know why else I would not have a problem with it. So I can only say that I'm speculating now, but I think it's an educated speculation, that my circulation's better, my system is cleaner in general, so it's able to transport the blood around better, it's able to move the lymph fluids around, whatever it does to cope with the heat. And I personally have become a sun lover too. I believe the sun has tremendous nutrition for us. I haven't worn sunscreen in probably 40 years. And here I am. There's no skin cancer. You might want to look into the information about that with sources that are not your typical sources. You got to be careful what you say if you're posting on YouTube, because they will flag you for misinformation. And I'm not giving you information, I'm telling you to research it. I'm only reporting my anecdotal experience and telling you look further into it, because if there was truth to what has been said by some sources, well, I should be walking around with melanomas all over me or something, shouldn't I? So anyway, just wanted to give you my perspective on that. Again, if I have another thought to share, I will be back. Okay, another random thought is that I do walk in my neighborhood, once in a while, and I think I've actually done a video or two from there down my street, because again, I do live in the country, so I'm not walking down a city street. But there is something to be said for walking out in a beautiful nature place like this. This is a park near my house that they do a great job of maintaining. If you look behind me, they mow these paths very regularly. They really keep up on it. It's fantastic. I mean, if you look to the side, you'll see it's unmowed over there, but it's very much mowed where I'm walking. And so you can get a sort of a triple benefit, I think, like maybe a trifecta of benefit if you're walking out in the park, out in the sun, letting your body get exposed to the sun. That's why I don't wear a shirt when I walk. Most of it helps when it's humid out, but it's more for the vitamin D and the benefits of the sun hitting my body, and my body being able to use the phytonutrients, and then also just being out in the peace of nature. And I get, when I walk in this park, I get visited by rabbits, by robins, in the ground feeding. Some people bring their dogs, so that's always nice. I think I've seen a couple of deer as well, and of course squirrels once in a while, and butterflies and whatnot. So, I mean, if that means anything to you, as it does to me, it's a tremendous addition, and you're kind of, you're being efficient, right? Because you're getting your walk in, you're getting your sort of spiritual food, and you're getting your Mother Earth food from the sun. I happen to be walking right now along a stream where the trees are right along it. That's why you're seeing shadow on me, but most of this walk is all out in direct sunlight with no trees. I'm actually getting ready to turn soon, and I'll be back in the sun completely. So anyway, that was just another thought to share. Thank you. Hello, me again. So just to add on to my last thought about being out in nature, I'm a musician. I play multiple instruments, and so I'm very sensitive, auditory wise. I've been playing pretty much my whole life, like 50 something years. I've been playing, and so the music of nature is also part of the therapy to me. The songs of the birds, the sounds of frogs, the wind whistling past your ear, all of that to me is very therapeutic. And it just so happens the park that I walk in, unfortunately, is within earshot of the interstate, so I always have a little bit of that background noise. Fortunately it's kind of distant, but it's still there. But if you can find a place beautiful like this where it's really just sort of quiet as an airplane flies over somewhere up there, which is rare here, but I can hear them. Anyway, if you can do that, that's just another level of potential super therapy. So just wanted to share that as well. Okay, so another quick random thought is that walking like this during your fasting window, be it a day or multiple days, helps burn up your glycogen, which is your stored sugar energy in your liver and your bloodstream. And so that helps you more quickly get to body inner cleansing, ketosis if that's what you're after. So keep that in mind. I highly encourage, for that and many other reasons, trying to fit a daily walk into your day. It's the single healthiest thing that humans can do, and it's non-destructive compared to things that we do, such as playing sports. I mean, I love playing hockey, but it did take a toll on my knees. But having said that, I did spend a number of years with too much body weight, and was still playing. So that was stressing my knees unnecessarily. So if you can jump on this kind of lifestyle sooner in your life, if there's people that view this video that are in their 20s, 30s, or 40s or whatever, you still have, you have years on me to get started sooner, and hopefully you won't stress your joints like I did. I'm doing pretty well considering all that, and I can tell you that dropping 2 bowling balls worth of body weight definitely is not a bad thing for your joints. My knees definitely feel a difference on that. But again, I've worn them down. I've got, pretty much almost bone on bone on my knees, so, but they really feel so much better. Plus the movement, plus the walking itself, the movement keeps the joints lubricated, helps them clear out things they don't want. The fasting helps with inflammation. So all of that in combination is a good thing. But again, if this video gets you early enough in your journey and you have extra body weight, then hopefully this technique will help you, and then if you get the weight off the joints, they're going to definitely respond well. Quick reminder, if you are going to bring your water fast into multiple days, 24, 48, 36, whatever, 72, it's highly recommended that you take electrolytes. You should always be using real salt and sea salt or whatever to supplement while you're fasting anyway. First of all, it helps suppress the appetite, plus it gives you some of the minerals and electrolytes anyway. But there are good again, I'm going uphill here. There are good electrolyte supplements. The particular ones I'm using at the moment, the brand is called Trace, and it comes in right now it comes in blue bottles, dark blue bottles. So anyway, keep that in mind if you're going to go past the 24-hour mark, especially. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to take them, even if you're doing it just during intermittent fasting. But definitely, if you're going over the 24 hours, I would say take the electrolytes, because I've noticed if I do that before I walk, I definitely feel different. I have more spunk, and each day that I go into another day of the water fasting, they make more and more of a difference. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to conclude today's video with just stating that self-love is not a crime, it's not a sin. Narcissistic self-love is different. I'm not talking about that. I'm about caring enough about yourself like nobody else will. Nobody's going to care about your health and well-being like you will. I mean, they've got their own to think about, right? It's not a criticism. So try to stay in self-love. Some people will recommend, go to the mirror every day and tell yourself you love yourself and all that. And if that works for you, go for it. I find that a little awkward. It feels a little narcissistic to me, so I don't really do that. But in my own mind, in my self-talk, I do talk to myself. And the way I look at it, and I've done this for decades now, we all have some sort of, I don't know if it's trauma, but not so happy memories from our childhood, potentially. And so I have said it for for a few decades now, that I parent myself. I parent that little child in me who was scared and hurt and felt unloved at times, perhaps. And so that's part of this. If you are feeling that, if you're not feeling worthy enough to be at your best health or whatever, or you're feeling guilty because you've made some bad choices in the past, you gotta forgive yourself. I've quoted it before. There's a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Almost Dead. It's the guy who composed it was Joe Cross, and he became a bit of a celebrity, And anyway, Joe said in the video, when he was introducing the concept of, his thing was juice fasting, which I have definitely done a lot of before I did the water fasting. But his thing, he said to people, if you try this and you don't, you quote unquote fail, which is really an euphemism, then good on you for trying. I love that phrase. He was from Australia. I guess that's a big popular thing in Australia. So good on you for trying any of this. And if you don't make your goal the first time, that is no reason to persecute yourself or give up. Love yourself. Know that you need to be that ideal loving parent that if you don't feel you had it, you can be that for yourself. So I send all of you love and best wishes, and I will see you again. Thanks for watching.